Today is the 22nd day of Av, and the 16th of August. So we're in the middle of chapter 6 somewhere.
No, I think it's 2017, 23.
Today's the 23rd day of Av? Yeah, 23rd. What did I say? 22nd.
And 27th.
Yeah, then it's the 17th. 17th, yeah.
As you can say.
23rd and 17th. So where are we? We're in still chapter 6, page 102, if I'm not mistaken. Let's see. I think the last thing we did is called Vinyan Tzimtzum Zehu Hipuch Minan Histalshilus Ila Ve'alul. שבהשתלשלות הרי העלול הוא מערך העילה. There's a difference between what we call Histalshilus and Tzimtzum. Histalshilus means continuity. That's what we talked about last time, I think. So it's sort of like evolutionary continuity. But it's the opposite of evolutionary continuity, because in Histalshilus, really, right, it's devolution. It's what was initially had everything, and everything that comes out of it is a smaller subset of what there was initially. That's Ila Ve'alul. Ila Ve'alul, we said it's like cause and effect, but it's not really cause and effect. Cause and effect for us is like something causes something else. Ila Ve'alul, even though it means cause and effect, is more like, again, because they weren't thinking in terms of cause and effect, like scientific cause and effect. They were thinking about things as, where do you get? It's like the evolution of forms or devolution of forms. So every time there's less and less form, which is kind of strange, because how is it then that the human being is so complex? If the human being is just a devolution from the infinite, from Hashem. Can't get this open. Look at this. First time ever. Simply cannot get it open. No. I've been living with this machine for who knows how many years. There's something wrong with the case. Something happened to it. I don't know. Anyway, so if you're talking about a devolution of forms, and every time there's less and less, so how is it that the human being is so sophisticated? So what's the answer? The answer is a human being then devolved from animals. He's devolving directly from Hashem, and everything is devolving directly from Hashem in that sense, except that we have in the middle the sfirot. But it's not a linear descent, where you started out with the most complex thing, and then the simplest things came out. In the Torah's point of view, everything is created by Hashem directly. Hashem says, "Do this." He makes this. He makes this. So each one is a devolution from Hashem. Whatever Hashem is, you can't really describe him. It's a devolution from that. So the fact that the human being is so different than everything else is not such a mystery. When you think about it like that, what is difficult to understand is, so why is it that everything seems to be based on the same genetics? It seems to be that even though each one was caused separately from Hashem, we have very similar genetics. But there's not much mystery in that either, because what do you want? Hashem needs to create a new genetics each time. Whatever will work the first time works for this also. The bodies are similar. But that's the idea of continuity in Histalshilus. That it's from what there was, you get a subset that becomes the creation. And that's the form. But Tzimtzum is the opposite of that. Tzimtzum says there's a leap. There's no continuity. There's a complete gap. ומה שכתב הרמ"א כעניין השתלשלות הילה ואלול וכן בזוהר הקדוש פרשה בראשית, היינו בהשתלשלות הספירות בספירות עצמן. So what they spoke about, the Ramak and the Zohar, that's talking about the Histalshilus once there are sfirot already. Once there are sfirot, so Each one is you could treat it as a type of subset of the others. What do we mean by that? We mean that the Chokhmah, for instance, has within it Bina and Das and so on. It has all the Sfirot in it. So when they come down, so the Bina takes what it had from the Chokhmah. That's the initial.
It's only within that world. But to get the next world, you need another Tzimtzum.
Can within whatever is wherever you get a continuity, like a kav. So usually this is what we call the world of Tov. Afterwards, the Ari calls this the world of Tov. Why is it the world of Tov? Because each one is contained in the previous one. There's no three axes. Each one comes down from the previous one. So the Keter included everything, and then it starts coming down from Keter. And so Malchus, which comes out at the end, is the last thing that's left. But that's the way we understand it. And by the way, that's how they understood childbirth also. He said that the children that are born in succession, one after the other, why is the Bechol, why is the firstborn more important than the other ones? Because it's the first one that comes out of the form of the father. It's called when the father leaves in the womb, the first time that he inseminates his wife. So from that came the firstborn. And then there's a little bit left and a little bit left and a little bit left until she can't give birth anymore. Their explanation was she can't give birth because it's all finished. Whatever he put, the rucha, the shavikba it's called in Kabbalah, this spirit that he puts into her, it dwindles over time and it's finished. So yeah, it's another example of this. They saw this in many things. That the continuity means really that you're just getting a subset and a subset and a subset. Then the question was, okay, so how is it that the child can have children? If the spirit kept dwindling, so the last child should have less children than the first child. But that's why one of the things that we say, that's why it's called Koach Ein Sof, the power of the infinite, giving birth. So it's actually, it should be the next mitzvah we should learn, because there's a lot there on this topic. So why is it power of the infinite? Because there's something added all the time. The next mitzvah here is something else, but the first mitzvah was Pru Uru. The reason the reason I want to do it next is because Tafshin Pei Vav, the year we're starting in a month and a half, is Shnat Pru Uru. Okay, so we'll get to that.